Hello Anderson County, this is Councilman Brett Sanders recapping April 19th, 2022's council meeting. Third readings, we had three things on third reading today. One was to amend our code of ordinances for the time period or consideration of a project as it comes if it's been disapproved by the Planning Commission. Used to, they could just keep coming back. Now we have a time frame submitted in there that is 6 months, and it's not a time frame if someone comes in with a project and there's a few minor changes, things of that nature, they'll be addressed and continue to move forward. But if a project's denied, you can't just keep bringing back the same project over and over. There'll be a 6 month time period, and there has to be some changes in there.
It was clogging up the process, right?
Exactly. And you know, with all the development and the growth and the industries we have coming in here, the planning and that department and the planning commission, I mean, they're under a lot of stress, under a heavy workload, and you don't want to just have to continue repeating the same project over and over again. So I think it will help the planning commission, the planning department, codes, will help them to expedite what they have now a little quicker. And it'll also not waste their time with some frivolous things that there wasn't really a substantial change that justified it coming back. Okay, and also tonight we had River Oaks subdivision, special tax district, and that was 75%, I think is the law, of property owners have to sign off. And what it was, there was some roads in the subdivision that weren't built to county standards, and the county was not allowed or able to take those roads in. This special tax district will allow the homeowners to get their roads to county specs via bond. And I think I looked through the numbers, and with the property owners there, I think it came up to about $500 a year over the next 10 years per homeowner to get their roads up to county standards. So yeah, we also had Project Yale, which we now know is Kelly Engineering. That was the final reading tonight. Is a $6 million expansion, 80 new jobs at $22 and some change per hour, and it will increase their square footage from where they are now when it's all said and done to a 80,000 square foot facility. A local company, homegrown right here in Anderson County, and I'm very excited and happy to see them succeeding and growing. Second reading, we had a zoning change in District 4, my district, from R10 to from R20 to an R10. The developers have actually met with some of the people in the area and addressed their concerns that they had, and move forward tonight on second reading without anybody coming in to address concerns. All those were addressed prior to it coming before council, and that makes things a little easier when the developers will it. A lot of people feel like they're kind of left in the dark, or the uncertainty scares a lot of people, but when you have a quality developer or a builder, someone that wants to be a part of the community, what better way to be a part of the community than to sit down with the people, address those concerns, answer any questions they have. And I think you find that the whole process works a lot smoother, and you have a lot more support for your project just based on getting facts out there and clarifying any misconceptions or rumors. We also did a ground lease with Duke Energy on the battery storage out at the Civic Center, which was basically a renewal, and that'll also supply power to the Civic Center in case of an emergency or an outage. We had a stormwater ordinance, or an ordinance on drainage and utility easements, and what that is going to do is help not only stormwater, but it will help some of these neighborhoods where you have a neighborhood and the topography is a certain way, and water's going to flow a certain way. And what it'll do, it'll allow them to use it for utility and water easements, and those will be a part of on the plat, which will be the property owners and or the HOA. and it will allow measures to be in place that's not really messed with, and it will help detention ponds or retention ponds not exceed capacity, basically. And what it's going to do is, I have a lot of calls in my district, and there's some neighborhoods that prior to stormwater, and if the neighborhood starts here and you buy the lowest lot in the neighborhood at the end, and there's a big creek behind your house, well, guess what? All that water is going to flow to the lowest point. And what this is going to do is, I think it's going to help with stormwater issues. Plus, it also help with unsuspecting property owner that comes in, buys a lot or buys a house, and then realizes later that it's in a area that's susceptible, not really to flood the house, but for a lot of water flow there. And it upsets me being on, that's not a council issue, so it's not something that I can go in and say, oh, well, I can get the county to come out here and we can do this or that. You're on private property, and there's laws and things that prohibit us from doing those. So I'm glad we got an ordinance in place now, or coming into place, that is going to help protect people, especially in the future, and have a better understanding of how the water flows, and keep a developer from, in the past, you have all these lots developed, and in 2008 things happen, and as things start picking back up, you've got the coal lots, so to speak, left over down in a hole, and that will be now on a plat. So as your realtor's selling you that piece of property, you're looking at that piece of property, you can see that water's actually flowing there, and that's your decision, not something that you find out too late. So also we transferred some property, the old solid waste convenience center, to the Slabtown Fire Department, or 3 and 20 Fire Department, for in the Slabtown area, for a fire training site, which will allow other fire departments to use it as well. So I'm glad that property is like right next door to the fire department. So I'm glad to see that property is being utilized, not only to help provide safety for the people in the community with training for our fire departments, but also the safety of our volunteer firemen. So I was excited to see that. The town of Iowa, there was some property there that wasn't sold at the tax sale that kind of fell back onto the county. I think the property needed some cleaning up, some trash issues, things of that nature. But that property, the town of Iowa, we donated it to the town of Iowa, and they're going to clean it up and utilize that property to create more wealth on the tax map, a house there, or a business or something of that nature. So it's good to see some of those areas being cleaned up and put back to use, not only for the community, but as a revenue source for the county as well. So we also tonight voted on first reading for Duke Energy to approve an easement for them in the Belton area, and I think the mayor of Belton and some other people had reached out as well for a charging station. So electric charging station will be in Belton, and that will be 2 more readings. So everyone was on board, and I'm glad to see that we can help some of our municipalities, especially with moving into the future, the electric vehicle, the hybrid stuff. It used to be a foreign concept for a lot of people, but you see it more and more coming into Anderson County, coming into some of the smaller areas. A lot of people are utilizing different power sources, and I'm glad to see that it's clean and that we are able to help the town of Belton. And finally, there was the last thing tonight. There was several roads in a subdivision that is getting completed, and several roads getting completed. Our Roads and Bridges Department went out, inspected the roads, having been inspecting the process as it moves along. Those roads met county standard, and they were brought in under the county system. And pretty much that sums it up. I hope everyone had a great Easter, and I hope the rain's out of here for the next few days anyway, and we can have some nice sunshine. So thank you.